Good evening. We begin at 5 with renewed calls for substantial changes on a dangerous stretch of road through southeast Portland. Now, this is a section of Powell Boulevard where celebrated Portland chef Sarah Pliner was killed while riding her bike when she was hit by a semi-truck just last week. It's also a spot that is right next to a high school. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko.
And I'm Laurel Porter. There have been other crashes and at least one other death of a cyclist in that same spot over the years. Daisy Caballero brings us what those within the cyclist community are demanding.
We're currently on Southeast 26th Avenue where protesters are here demanding safer infrastructure for cyclists.
We really feel like Sarah's death has highlighted how if we had safety measures in place, perhaps her death would have been preventable.
Cycling advocates in Portland are demanding more safety infrastructure at Southeast Powell and 26th after 50-year-old Sarah Pliner was hit and killed riding her bike through this intersection last Tuesday.
Because even though it might be a state highway on a map, for those of us who live along these, there are neighborhood streets. We don't get to choose, so they need to be safe for vulnerable street users.
Southeast Powell is one of Portland's high crash corridors, one of 30 streets where the highest number of crashes happen. Powell Boulevard is actually a state-owned highway controlled by ODOT, not the city.
And this is a corner that we've known is dangerous for a very long time.
Cal Johnson is the chair of Bike Loud. He says Bike Loud has been advocating for more separation between cyclists and vehicles on Powell.
Bike boxes sort of help people know that there's people riding bikes that use the street. It produces a little more visibility. And the city went ahead and removed the bike box. And 4 years later, we have somebody who lost their life at this intersection.
Back in 2018, when it was removed, ODOT said it was to encourage cyclists to use 28th Avenue instead of 26th, a much tighter intersection at Powell. ODOT declined a request for comment about the protests and demands for change this week, but spokesperson Don Hamilton spoke with KGW the day after Pliner's death regarding the intersection.
We've put in a lot of new crossing signals. We put in a lot of rapid flash beacons in there. We put in some new lighting and some new signs. There have been a lot of improvements in this area.
ODOT released this statement reading in part, quote, "Recent incidents on Powell, including a tragic death on October 4th, are evidence that this road cannot and should not function as a traditional highway anymore. It's time to make changes to ensure the safety of all users."
We've got a school at this intersection, we've got a park at this intersection, and so it's great to see our transportation leaders sort of acknowledging that the way that we interact with the city has changed, and now we're just sort of waiting to see what they're going to do to follow up.
And you can read ODOT's full statement on our website a little later tonight, KGW.com. In Southeast Portland, Daisy Caballero, KGW News.
Developing tonight, investigators are trying to figure out what happened to two people found dead in a car in unincorporated Clackamas County. The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office says the car hit a fire hydrant early this morning on Southeast 122nd near Ford Street. Two people inside were dead and the car was riddled with bullet holes. The Sheriff's Office is calling this a homicide and investigating whether it's connected to any other shootings.
Police in Portland are also dealing with another deadly shooting, this time in Northeast, where a man was found shot yesterday evening in the parking lot of States Motel. This is on 82nd, just across from McDaniel High School. The victim died from his injuries. No word on any charges yet, though officers say they did detain one man.
This next story is evidence gun violence is a nationwide problem. And perhaps nobody knows that better than the family of a Troutdale man who was badly hurt in a shooting just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. Let's go to Mike Benner now in the newsroom. And Mike, a shooting, of course, would rock any family, but it's especially tough for this one.
Yeah, that's right, Laurel. This family is originally from Ukraine. In fact, they have plenty of loved ones still in the region. They're, of course, closely following the war overseas, and now they're dealing with violence here in America. A shooting that's put one of their own in the hospital. His name is Vasil Nesvit. He's a long-haul trucker who lives in Troutdale. The weekend before last, the 26-year-old made a 2,700-mile drive from Portland to North Carolina. On that following Monday night, Vasil was taking a shower at a truck stop just outside of Charlotte when he heard what he thought was a firework outside. He raced out to the parking lot where he found a man laying in a pool of blood. That man had been shot, and family says the gunman then shot Vasil. Both victims were rushed to the hospital where the other man was pronounced dead, and Vasil was rushed into a surgery that just may have saved his life.
It's a miracle. It's truly I don't know, it's God, because I don't know how he's even alive.
It goes to show that anything can happen in a split second. Your life can be over or change drastically.
The shooter has not yet been apprehended. As for Vasil, family says he is expected to be okay, but he has a long road ahead of him. They've launched a GoFundMe to help with mounting medical bills, and you can find a link to that fundraiser on our website, KGW.com. David.
Mike Benner in the newsroom. Thank you, Mike. I'll tell you about an elementary school in East Multnomah County which had to cancel classes on short notice this morning because of fumes. A Centennial School District spokesperson says the principal noticed the air quality inside Patrick Lynch Elementary was bad enough to keep teachers and students home. It appeared to be related to ongoing roof construction. It's not clear what this means for the rest of the week, but right now officials say they're trying to get the fumes out and fresh air in.
So the campus itself is actually working with a lot of our support services department, and they've actually opened a lot of the doors, the windows, and started aerating the entire building as we speak right now.
And no word on when the construction at the school will be completed.
Now to our homeless crisis. The city of Vancouver has 2 safe stay communities up and running with tiny home pods for homeless people to move into and receive services. And now it's looking to add a 3rd. The city's asking neighbors of a potential downtown location what they think about the prospect of a sanctioned homeless site near them. Tim Gordon joins us now at that potential site, which is a big parking lot right now. Tim?
Yeah, Laurel, it is, and with a property owner who wants to donate this lot to the city for a safe stay community. But it's not approved yet, and the city's now asking anyone within 1,200 feet of this lot for what they think about it. Now, as we were working this today, we were able to put a concerned neighbor and city officials together. First, the background. Vancouver already has 2 safe stay communities operating, both east of downtown. They each have 20 tiny homes to serve 20 to 40 people at a time and are managed by nonprofit organizations. Along with the housing, there are services for drug addiction, education, employment, and permanent housing. The city says in 8 months, 60 people have been helped to move out of homelessness. Now a 3rd site being considered downtown in a big block on West 11th Street. We covered this about a month ago when the idea first came out. Briar Rose Inn owner Sally Reevy didn't like it then. And now?
I don't like any of this. I've tried to get my head around it.
And certainly not convinced that this location near her bed and breakfast is good for a city-sanctioned homeless facility. As we talked, our second interview with Vancouver's homeless response coordinator arrived. We brought Jamie Spinelli into the conversation. Here I am in between you two, but what's your message to Sally's concerns, Jamie?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same as they've previously been. The camping that is taking place here with a gentleman in his van and the rest who kind of, I know there was a tent last weekend right over there. That would not be there.
What Spinelli is referring to is a buffer zone for no homeless camping within 1,000 feet of the safe stay location. The same thing is in place around the other 2 sites, and the city says it is enforced. In fact, as we visited, Vancouver Mayor Ann McInerney Ogle arrived and joined in.
And when you think about it, 1,000 feet, 5 blocks.
Yeah,
that's a lot of space.
Yeah,
down to that railroad berm and everything else. Goes over to Broadway.
Does that help to see that, Sally?
yeah, sort of. But all these outlying areas do not affect me personally. This affects me personally.
Right.
Understandable concerns, and there are more, over a downtown location that may become the city's next safe stay community.
I just wish you could find some other place to continuously help more and more.
I know you do. Yeah. We have a very large homeless population in the downtown area. Yeah. And if we don't serve them here, then they remain outside.
And so that's why Jamie and her team are working so hard to figure out what is appropriate, and if it is, how do we mitigate those impacts?
Yeah, good to see people talking today. There's a lot to talk about. You could talk about fencing and security and other issues as well. And again, the city's invited people within 1,200 feet to do just that. They've got 2 sessions coming up this week. And then after that, after a 2-week period of kind of public input, it will ultimately be up to the city council to decide if this site is a go. If it is, it could be in place by mid-December. Back to you.